Hello, this is Maggie. I wanted to do a synastry chart of Lady Gaga and Christian Carino. They're newly engaged. So, yeah, just take a look at their planets. I've already done both of their charts um, separately. So, yeah, I might just do a composite chart too to see what they look like as a couple. I may do that because it may be a clearer picture. But first of all, their north nodes interact. The most positive aspect I see in their relationship is his Venus in the third house of communication is sitting right on her north node. That is a karmic point for love. It really is. Love, communication. And Lady Gaga has her north node and Venus in Aries in the third house. So his Venus is just sitting right on her north node. So that's a karmic connection for love and very good for communication. So they were sort of fated, to well, he manages her career for one thing. So they definitely communicate in that way. But, they fell in love as well. Um, yeah, her Venus is 23 degrees and his Venus is 28 degrees. So they're almost conjunct, and then to throw the north node on top of his Venus on top of that is a very, very powerful force for love. Because Venus is love, and definitely you want good communication in love. And um, yeah, so that was her north node. His north node is in her second house of she has Pisces in her second house. So he manages her assets. I mean, her career. That's what he does. So um, she has Jupiter, planet of expansion, Mercury, planet of communication, in the second house. So yeah, his North Node definitely touches her. Well, they make a lot of money together through the music industry. But what kind of caught my attention, also his moon is in her first house. She has no planets there. She has a huge first house, though. Her first house uh, comprises both Capricorn and Aquarius. Her career and uh, so his moon is in her first house. So that's affecting her personality, almost her ascendant. So that they would get on very well in that respect. Yeah, so she is a Capricorn ascendant, but still having his moon in the first house in her Aquarius part of the first house is really good communication too. And, with groups and projects and all the things they work on together. But that's good. That's your personality, your first house personality. So his moon would emotionally connect with her, or he would get her and she would get him. Um, yeah, there was some interesting things going on with their chirons. It's like they both see each other's woundedness, and they've been dating forever, so I'm sure they know each other quite well. But Christian Carino's sun is right on her Chiron in the fifth house of love. It's Leo's house, love affairs, children, self-expression. Um, but it's in Gemini. So his sun in Gemini, which, yeah, I just did his chart. Yeah, he's definitely a Gemini career for sure. But anyway, his sun in Gemini is on her Chiron, conjunct her Chiron in Gemini in the fifth house. So, he sees the Chiron's like, your the wounded healer. It's an asteroid, the centaur. And so he sees that in her and, connects with it and works with it. And it comes out in her art because the fifth house is creative self-expression. she's very, very creative in her self-expression. So his son gets it, manages her talent, and he just, when you fall in love with each other, you fall in love with each other's, you know, you get to know their inner shadow side, the inner wounding, and all of that. Um, yeah, so she put it to good use in his career. But let's just say he knows her heart and soul. he knows her. He knows her very well, and as long as they've dated. Um, so his son's on her Chiron in the fifth house of Leo, love and self-expression, and where'd his Chiron go? His Chiron is on her sun, so it's kind of like reverse in the third house. Yeah, so it's actually, well, it's the sun is 7 degrees Aries, and Chiron is in Aries. His Chiron is on her sun in Aries. Yeah, so let me just check the degrees. Yeah, she's 7 degrees Aries, and his Chiron is 6 degrees Aries. So it's an exact conjunction. So because both their suns are conjunct, both their different Chirons, they get each other on a very, very strong emotional level because they know, each other's interior wounding, and then use that to use their gifts. Yeah, that's what we do with our inner wounding. We turn it around and use it as a gift frequently. So anyway, they know each other inside and out. Let's just put it that way. The other thing that interested me was his ascendant, his Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, his Jupiter, planet of expansion, ruler of Sagittarius, and his Uranus are all up in the midheaven in Virgo, in her Virgo house, in the 8th house of finances, joint assets rather. That's Scorpio's house. So he has the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, and his ascendant. So that's when you get married, that's you're definitely joining assets. And he definitely, yeah. So besides making her a megastar, that's what he does. They will also be merging their assets, but it is in the Virgo is work and health. Virgo's work and health, and the 8th house is Scorpio. So yeah, there's a very, very strong attraction. I'm sure that's how she met him, and yeah, very, very powerful attraction in the 8th house. And he made her mega millions, making her a star. And yeah, so they work together. He's a powerful, powerful force in her life in the 8th house, because it's Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. So it makes him more powerful, and yeah, so that's really, really positive. All his planets in her Virgo house. She has no planets there, but it is the 8th house of Scorpio, and they are joining their assets both through work and through marriage, unless they get a prenup, but still, basically, it's the 8th house of sex, attraction, passion, intense passion. But in Virgo, it's kind of work related too. So the other thing that I was looking at was that the Mars, his Mars, his Mars is sitting right on top of her Saturn in the 11th house it's the 11th house of communication, Aquarius, but it's in Sagittarius. So he is probably one of the very few people that could maybe I wouldn't say control her, but because I believe she is a perfectionist. She has Saturn in the 11th house, so she's very much a perfectionist in her work. Um, and the 11th house is the house of Aquarius. So, yeah, Mars on Saturn is not the easiest aspect in a relationship, but they might just, because Mars can be quarrelsome and Saturn can be, sort of, and Saturn and Sag can be sort of restricted, more more serious, more serious. So I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's not the most. I don't think it's the most positive aspect in the world, but in the career sense and in marriage too, I guess tying the knot. They're going to do it with groups of people. Sagittarius, friends, families, hopes and wishes. So Saturn would be, um, her Saturn would be settling down, and his Mars would be taking action. But his Mars in Sagittarius, Mars is the ruler of fire, and it's the ruler of Aries, and it's the ruler of Scorpio as well. So those are the basic ones that I see for these two. Yes, and yeah, I think it's great that they're engaged. I was really trying to get a photo of them. They're all copyrighted, but I will try. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.